Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. In today's episode I am going to show you how to properly remove and replace the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod along with the protection boot from any Mercedes Benz C Class from the year 2005 and up. So today I work on this Mercedes Benz. This one is made in the year 2009 and it has the version W204. Also, this method is working for almost any car out there. It doesn't have to be a Mercedes Benz or a BMW or something like that. The method and the steps are exactly the same for any car out there. So as you can see, this car has a lot of movement when you steer the steering wheel left and right. And normally all of this play should be only because you have bad tie rod ends, but on this car, for example, this car just had an accident about 1 year ago, and probably the steering rack and the steering column it's a little bit worn out, a little bit bent or something like that. And after I'm going to replace those parts, after I'm going to install brand new tie rod ends, if the problem still persists, I'm going to replace the steering rack and the steering column on this car just to be sure that everything will be working perfectly like it was before. So after you go underneath the car, you have to check for this part. Right here normally should be an undershield, but I already removed it because I washed the engine just a little bit to make it a little bit cleaner. And as you can see, right here, this is the protection boot. And normally this protection boot is secured with two metal clamps like this one, which you'll have to remove. And right underneath, you'll find the inner tie rod. And right here in the corners, you'll find the outer tie rod, which is installed on any vehicle out there. So from here, just follow what I'm doing. It's a very easy process. You'll have to remove the bolt which is securing it from the top. After that, normally you'll only have to hit it with a light hammer and it will come out from the hub. But in some cases, this one can be very stuck onto the hub and you'll have to use a special tool, a special press, which will help you to remove it completely from the vehicle. So in my case today, I'm going to work on the left side, on the driver's side on this car, for example. And from here, I'm going to let you all see exactly what I'm doing with the car and what I'm removing it. And the first thing which I recommend you to do before trying to work on this car and before trying this job is to turn the steering wheel into the opposite direction, maximum for example in my case, because in this way it will open the space, you'll have more room to work with, and probably in some cases the parts will come out a little bit easier than usual. Right here, as you can see, I have all the parts which I'm going to install on the car. Right here I have the protection boot made by Lanforder. This is the best manufacturer which you can buy out there if you're not buying the OEM ones. And right here I have the outer tie rod. All of these parts are made by Lanforder and by Delphi. So with all of these things being said, let's get right into it. To begin this job, the first thing which you'll have to do is to remove the metal clamps which are securing the protection boot mounted over the inner tie rod. Also, I recommend all to spray some WD-40 over the bolts because in some cases they can be very rusted and probably the WD-40 will help them just a little bit come out a little bit easier. After that, the next step which you'll have to do is to remove this bolt which is securing the outer tie rod mounted to the inner tie rod, and you'll have to undo it just a little bit to loose up the outer tie rod, and after that you can go ahead and remove the little bolt which is securing the outer tie rod mounted to the hub. After you remove the bolt, which is securing the outer tie rod mounted to the hub, I recommend all to hit it with a light hammer right here in this area where the hub is fitting the outer tie rod. And if in some cases, for example, if it's not coming out even doing so, you can hit it from the top. In my case, I like to hit it from the top also because I will replace the outer tie rod completely and I don't have to worry about damaging the threads or something like that. And also, in some cases, even if you hit it with a hammer, probably it will not come out because of the rust and because of the age. And I recommend all to hit it with a torch very good. And also, if you have a special press, you have to use the special press. And in this way, probably you'll be able to remove it from the hub completely and out from the car. After that, to remove the tie rod completely out from the inner tie rod, you'll have to count how many turns you'll have until it's coming out from it. In my case, for example, as you can see, I have 27 complete rotations. until the outer tie rod is coming out from the inner tie rod. And you have to put it on a paper or something like that, just to know exactly. After that, when you're going to install the new inner tie rod and the new outer tie rod, you have to count exactly 27 turns, and after that you have to put it back on the hub. And by doing this method, it will not be perfectly straight, but it will be very good to drive, and after that you will still have to take the car to an alignment shop and let them do it professionally with the special tools which they have. After that, in my case, I like to remove the little bolt which is mounted over the inner tie rod. And after that, in this way, I'm removing the protection boot and all the parts which I have to remove from the car. Right here, with the bolt out from the inner tie rod, I can just slide out the protection boot from the inner tie rod. And in my case, for example, because I'm replacing all the parts, I don't have to worry about anything about damaging them or something like that. But if you, for example, are only replacing the outer tie rod or the inner tie rod, for example, just make sure to not break the protection boot or any other parts, because you'll have to reuse them and you'll have to make them work after that. So right here, to remove the inner tie rod from the car, there is a special tool to remove it, but in my case I don't have it, and you have to use a set of pliers like this one. You have to use a big set of pliers, and in this way you will be able to grab it and turn it anti-clockwise, and after that you can just remove it by hand and remove it completely out from the car. Alright everybody, right now it's time for me to install them back on the vehicle, and always remember to compare the old parts with the new parts, because you want to know exactly if they are the exact part which you have to install on the part, and if they are fitting properly. And if you see any differences, if you see that the part which you bought for a car, for example, is not exactly like the old one, don't install it, because probably the part is not correctly made for your car, and you'll have to buy another part, or you have to make a retool or something like that and buy the correct part which is installed for your car. So from here, it's exactly the same method. You'll have to follow the exact same steps. You'll have to install them back onto the vehicle like it was before. Now that I installed the inner tie rod back on the vehicle, it's time for me to install the protection from it, and you'll have to put the metal clamp over the protection boot on both of the ends, and you'll have to tighten it using a special set of pliers. And if you don't have the special set of pliers, which is made exactly for this kind of metal clamp, probably if you are a little bit lucky, you can still use your normal regular pliers, and you can do the job at home and with normal tools. Alright everybody, so the little nut is installed back over the inner tie rod, and now I'm able to install the outer tie rod, and in my case I have to count 27 complete turns until I'm going to put it in the correct position, and until I'm going to tighten it down and mount it back on the vehicle. In your case, the rotations, the turns will be differently. Probably you'll have only 15 or only 20 or something like that, and it will not be exactly like in my case. But like I told you earlier, even if you do it like this, you'll still have to take the car to an alignment shop and let them do it professionally with the special tools which they have. Because if you, for example, don't put it right, the steering wheel will go into the left or into the right, even if you are driving straight, and the tires will worn out prematurely, and you don't want this. So just let the professionals do it like they should do it. Alright, after you put it back on the vehicle, you have to tighten the little nut, which is securing it mounted to the inner tie rod, and after that you have to tighten the nut, which is securing it mounted to the hub. And then the job will be done. From here, just follow exactly how I'm doing it and what I'm doing it. Also, in my case, I always like to spray some copper paste over the work which I did, or over the parts which I replaced, or something like that, because in my case I like to make a clean job. I like to secure it from not get it rusted in the future, and by applying soft or a thin set of copper paste, it will protect them in the future. And the last thing which you have to do is to tie the bolt which is securing the outer tie rod end mounted to the hub, and in this case you have to use a combination of two keys, because probably the bolt will spin when you try to tie the nut, and in this case if you hold it with a special tool it will secure it in place, and in this way you will finish the job correctly and how it's supposed to be done. Alright everybody, so as you all saw, the job is finished. This is how to replace and install brand new inner tie rod and the outer tie rod along with the protection boot. This is how a proper job should be done. It's a very easy job, it's a very clean job to do. In some cases it will be difficult because probably the parts will be stuck over the hub and over the car, and it will be difficult to remove them, but if the job is working like in my case it did, everything is perfectly. So as you can see, thank you for watching. If you liked this video and found it informative, please leave a like and a comment down below. See you next time.